The marvellous thing about great vintage port is it's an incredibly versatile wine. Traditionally, of course, you drink vintage port when it's really quite old, when it's fully mature, and this can be 20 or 30 or even more years old. And of course, when it gets to that sort of age, it has the incredible finesse and subtleties and beautiful aromas, something that can only be achieved by long maturation in bottle. But of course, vintage port can also be drunk when it's very young, when it's a young, rich, vibrant, deep red colour. I have here two vintage ports. One is an old vintage port that has spent many, many years in bottle, gaining that extraordinary elegance and finesse that is so enjoyable from a great wine when it's very old. But on the other hand, this young wine is incredibly vibrant, and it delivers a completely different experience, an absolutely delicious wine to be drunk when it's young. In fact, you can drink vintage port at every stage of its development, when it's young and as it ages through till it's a very old and mature wine indeed. And at every stage, it delivers the most extraordinary experience. And the great thing about vintage port is the interesting way it develops and changes as it ages. I personally recommend that if you have a case of vintage port, that you don't wait until it's all very old, but you drink it when it's young, and then some more bottles when it's a little bit older, and so on, until it's fully mature. And that is really getting the best out of this great, great wine. My grandfather used to say, you can drink vintage port at any time. In fact, any time not drinking vintage port is a waste of time.